Welcome back. I am joined here once again with Susan Harris, author of Little Copper Pennies. Thank you so much for coming down today.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so you've been here before talking about your two books, but something has changed since last time. A few things, actually. A new publisher, and the penny has now been retired, and that's reflected in this new book. So tell us a little bit about the book and the revised version.
Well, thanks to CTV so much for having me, because it is truly your coverage that has helped me get the name that my books have become known for. And in part of that coverage and part of that success was that Borealis Press of Ottawa, Canada, saw my books, picked them up, and so my books are now being re-released as a revised edition through and with Borealis Press. And the books are pretty similar to what was previously published, except we have a number of color photographs that replace the black and white penny pictures.
Okay.
And we do also have some graphical representations of the number of pennies which previously were numerically enumerated. The tense also has changed, because the books were first published in 2012, prior to the penny being actually removed from circulation. That took place in 2013. And so we have reflected a little bit of tense changes to show the past tense, but it's as historically accurate, it's as anecdotally correct, and it's as fun and exciting, even more so than the first edition.
Yeah, very good. And so obviously the penny is no longer in circulation. As the penny lady, I will call you that, what does that mean to you, that the penny is no longer a thing in our society, I guess?
Well, I guess as the penny lady, my role would be to ensure that the penny does indeed remain a thing in society. So here I have the 1858 penny, the first penny from 1858 in that mintage, and the last penny of 2012 in the final mintage at Winnipeg. And actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that. My books are scheduled to be released on Canada Day, July 1st. And here, each chapter actually contains a story, 3 facts, and 3 funs.
Okay.
The penny fact on this page says, in 1867, the penny became legal tender in the 4 provinces that signed the Confederation Act: Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And that's what we are celebrating on July 1st. So the penny became legal tender in every province that joined Canada on its birthday. So it's very historically significant, even to Canada Day. And I think that that's a really good reason why it needs to be present, why people can get it as gifts, why we can keep it alive at any historic and momentous occasion in Canada, because it is one of its most historic icons.
So obviously it has some historical value, but in terms of practicality, do you think it's maybe a good thing that the penny is no longer in circulation?
Well, hard as it is to say that it may be, yes, I do agree that in terms of its economic value, it was not a productive process to keep on, because the penny was costing actually 1.0 cent to be produced, and its worth was only 1 cent.
That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and I'm not a math guy. So.
Yes, no, but in life, some things can't be measured in dollar value.
Right.
The penny is sentimental, the penny is tradition, the penny is our language.
Yeah.
We talk about throwing a penny in a fountain. We talk about picking up a penny for luck. We talk about as shiny as a new penny. And so in removing the penny, we are removing a little bit of our culture. We are removing a little bit of our language. But what is still going to be very present is that 100 pennies will still make up a loonie. 10 pennies will still make up a dime. And so we need to keep the penny alive for children, so that they will know that there is a tangible attachment of 1 penny when they see a loonie. And I think for these reasons, teachers love my books.
Yeah, and the kids' book, I mean, is it being re-released as well?
It is being re-released by Borealis Press. My illustrator is from Regina. His name is Mark Sexton of Mass Design. There's me. And it's just a beautiful book. There has hardly been any changes to this book. More of the changes were in the adult version of Little Copper Pennies. And just beautifully done. There is a number of activities that children can engage in. There is historical value and history of the penny, and just a storyline that's contained therein.
So obviously, you know, there's a lot of facts and information in the adult book, but in the kids book, how do the two compare, I guess, in terms of, you know, letting people know about the penny and, you know, the role it plays?
Well, I've been finding a lot of seniors actually like this book because it reminds them of their youth.
Yeah.
I've had a number of seniors buying them. The adult book is 167 pages. This one is 32 pages. And so it captures in pictorial form some of the stories that may be contained in 10 pages here, for example, and a number, 15 to be exact, of the activities that are found in the children's book are contained in this adult book, but the adult book has 30. It's got 45 individual facts, and it's got 14 stories that are historically accurate, based on interviews I did with a number of stakeholders and people who actually use the penny, people who had stories from the generation.
So how have sales gone? I mean, you're re-releasing tomorrow or on July 1st, I guess, correct? So, you know, how have sales gone up until that point with the old version, I guess?
I have not actually, we're now releasing this, so we will be measuring sales post-July.
Okay.
But I will say that I have surpassed the number that bookstores require us to sell on an annual basis. I surpassed those numbers in a few months within producing these books. And it was the mammoth sales that caught the attention of the press that has now released it. So I'm very, very pleased with the way it's gone, and I'm very thankful and grateful to the people of the communities I live in, the schools, the libraries, across the nation. People have been good to me and my books, and I couldn't have done it without the people and the media.
Very good. Well, we're glad to play our role. If people want to get a copy of the books, how can they do so?
Borealispress.com, www.borealispress.com. That's the publisher, particularly for people who want to buy in large quantities. The books are on Amazon, any Amazon worldwide. They can be found at Chapters, Kohl's, Barnes & Noble, in the States, Robinson McNally, just about any bookstores. And if it's not available in the bookstores, they can ask that it be ordered in. And finally, from my own website, www.susanharris.ca.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming in today, and best of luck with the books.
Thank you again for having me.